Hello, Mr. O here. We're going to do some more Ken puzzles today. Day 2 of Ken. So hopefully I give you some good tips and tricks that you can use to help solve more challenging puzzles. And hopefully you're having a good time with these so far. Let's take it on over to the worksheet. We could try some of these together. This is the level 2 Ken worksheet. So if you're looking at the ones I sent out, Ken level 2, we're going to be on the back because I want to try, for the video, I want to try 5x5 together, give you some good tips and tricks, and hopefully you're going to find some success on these and enjoyment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and started. You got a 3 here, freebie, a 1 here, freebie, and a 1 here. Those are freebies, so you can just fill those in. This is a 5x5, so we're going to use the numbers 1 through 5. Notice I have a pencil here because I'm going to just show you a couple of notes, how I take notes in these things, and hopefully find that helpful as well. All right, so I want you to just look at this line. This here has to be a 4 and a 5 because I have to add to make 9. So we have to have a 4 and a 5 here. Which means this possibility and this possibility, since there's a 3 here, 4 and a 5 here, this could be a 1 or a 2, and this could be a 1 or a 2. So sometimes I make little notes in there, and I just say, okay, if 1 and a 2 has to go here, 1 and a 2 has to go here, then, and I know these are 4 and 5, so sometimes I'll just write like this, like 4, 5, like right on the line, because I know between the two of those, one's a 4 and one's a 5. And then I quickly erase once I figure out which it is. So you could use that if you want, or if you like to not put any notes, that's fine as well. This one with a subtract to make 4, you're going to have a 1 and a 5 here. This one, you're going to have either a 2 and a 4 or a 2 and a 1. You have to use a 2 in this case. So this is a 1 and a 5. We don't know which one's which, so I can put a little note there, 1 and 5, if you'd like. This one has to be a 2 and a 4 or a 2 and a 1. But I notice I have a 1 here and a 1 here. And we already know there's going to be a 1 in this row because there's a 5 and a 1 here. There's the only possibility from subtracting to make a 4 is to have a 5 and a 1. So if this can't be a 1, then this has to be a 2 and a 4. So I'll write a 2 and a 4 here, which means this one must be my 3. So 5 and 1, 2 and 4, this has to be my 3. Now there's no way to multiply to make 12 without using a 3. It's just not possible. Some multiple of 3, which what I mean is with 3 numbers, we have to have 3. And then you could have 4 and 1, or 3, 2 and 2. This could be a 2, 2 and a 3. 2, 2 and 3. Or it could be, actually we know that's not possible because of 3 below it, right? So we know this has to be a 3. Because if you must use a 3 and it can't go in this column, then the 3 has to go there. So what are these possibilities then? Could we still use a 2? Are we still able to use a 2 up here? I don't think so, because if we put a 2 here, we're going to have to put a 2 here, because multiply and make 12, 3 times 2 is 6. We need to multiply by 2 more. 2's cannot go in the same column there, so this can't be a 2. This has to be a 1. And that means over here, this one has to be a 2. So we got the whole top row. Well, no, I guess we don't. 2 and 4, we don't know. All right. Sometimes I find it helpful when I have a 3 here and a 3 here and a 3 here. There's only 2 more possibilities for 3's. There has to be a 3 in this column in these 2. And there has to be a 3 in this column in one of these 2. So we can either look at it as we're going to subtract here using a 3, or we're going to add here using a 3. This one, you have to use a 3 and a 5. There's no other choice. One of these will have to be a 3. Because there has to be a 3 in here somewhere. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be here. It's going to be one of these 2. So this has to be a 3 and a 5. Well, if 5 has to go in this one, here's the tips and tricks. We don't know which one, but we know 5 can't go here. Because one of these will be a 5, 5 cannot go here. What does that mean for this 9? It means that this one's going to be our 4, and this one's going to be our 5. Well, how does that help? Well, look at our 2 and our 4 now. 2 and 4 is now a given because 4 can't go here. So it'll have to be our 2. This will have to be our 4. Now there's only one number left here, and that's going to be a 2. 1, 3, 4, 5. We're only missing a 2, which means this one must be a 5. Well, doesn't that help for these two? If I know there's a 5 here, then this is going to have to be a, which one? 5 can't go here. You're right. So if 5 can't go here, it's going to have to be our 3, and it's going to have to be our 5. Now, when I notice that I have 3, 3, 3, 3, and I have only one more 3 to place on the whole board, then we know exactly where it goes. It has to go here because it's the only one that doesn't have it in the column in the row. So this has to be a 3. All right. You'll notice this is a 5, and we can only use the numbers 1 and 4. So one of these is going to be a 1 and one is going to be a 4. We don't know which one yet. This number I'm going to have to subtract to make 1. So it's either going to be a 4 or it's going to be a 2. 4 or 2. And the same is true here. Subtract to make 1. 4 and a 2, 4 and a 2. So this is going to have to be a 4 or a 2, and this one's going to be 4 or 2. So we could write that real small in there and then just erase it in a second, as soon as you figure out which it is. So if this is a 2, this will be a 4, and if this is a 2, this will be a 4. We'll choose next. All right, what else do we know? This is a 5 and a 1. So one of these is going to have to be a 1, and the other one will have to be a 1. So that's nice because we know 1 cannot go in here. All right, how do I multiply and make 20? This has to be, since this is 2, there must be a 5 in one of these. One of them will have to be a 5. The other one will have to be a 4. There's no way to make 20 without using a 5 when you only have the numbers 1 through 5. So 2, 2, and 5. Yeah, if I did 5 times 4, I think I misspoke. If I did 5 times 4 there, you would have too much because you already have multiplied by 2. So if it has to be a 2 and a 5, then we know this must be a 2, this must be a 5. That gives us all the rest of our information because we know then 5 cannot go here, it has to go here. And if that's the case, 1 cannot go here, 1 has to go here, and 4 here. So that's done, that's done. The only number missing here is a 4. And the only number missing here then is 2. One last number to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, does this multiply and make 12? It sure does. 1 times 3 times 4. All right, there you go. Some good tips and tricks. Hopefully, it will help you well on your way. Use a calculator if you like. Might help some of these numbers get kind of big. I think I remember seeing some. I see a 60 there. I remember seeing some over 100. So, good luck to you. Ask if you have questions. I'm happy to help. Proceed through these puzzles. Remember to have fun, and I hope everyone is doing well.